Well-being is the state of being comfortable, healthy, and happy. In order to have well-being, we need to be comfortable in both body and mind. To have a comfortable body, our living conditions need to be favorable, where our material needs can be obtained without too much difficulties. We also need to have good health without being tormented by sicknesses. To have well-being of mind, we need to have peace of mind. The best way to do this is to engage in spiritual practice. Learn the Buddha's teachings and live our lives as a virtuous person according to the Buddha's teachings. Tonight, we will seek well-being of body and mind through praying to Medicine Buddha and Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. Both these great beings have made vows to help living beings who are troubled by lack of material possessions, sickness, problems with enemies and the law, and many other issues of body and mind. More importantly, after they have helped us fulfill our well-being of body, they will help us learn the Buddha's teachings to fulfill our well-being of mind, ultimately leading us to achieve Buddhahood, to become just like them, with perfect wisdom and compassion. Let us look at the program for tonight. We will begin by taking refuge in the three jewels, followed by generating the spirit of enlightenment. After that, we will make offerings to request Medicine Buddha, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, to descend upon this puja to give us their blessings. Then we will recite the Medicine Buddha Sutra, Medicine Buddha Mantra, the Heart Sutra, and the Heart Mantra of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva to seek their blessings for our well-being before ending with dedication. As usual, tonight at 9 p.m., we will have Ven Talk, where Venerable John will talk on the topic, Do You Hear Me? We will begin by taking sincere refuge in the three jewels, meaning we will seek guidance from the three jewels in whatever things we do, and seek protection from them in whatever difficulties we are facing. When we take sincere refuge in the Buddha, it also means that we want to follow and put into practice the Buddha's teachings, the Dharma, to live our lives. And when we practice the Buddha's teachings, there is that community of monks and nuns and our fellow practitioners that will accompany us, encourage us, and support us. So the three jewels are our true refuge and best refuge in our lives. Now, visualize the Buddha in front of you. He's very happy to see all of us here today. Okay, even though we are all online, he's even happier that we can persist in our spiritual practice despite not being able to come to the monastery. Visualize the Buddha radiating white light to bless all of us. The recitation will be about 3 minutes long. Let's take refuge sincerely. Please put your palms together. Let's begin. Music can be louder.
Sangaya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dhammaya. Namo Sanghaya.
Next, we will generate the spirit of enlightenment. This is to remind us that it's not just ourselves, but all the people around us and around the world who wants happiness and avoid suffering. So, whatever that we do, we should also think of their welfare. We make this aspiration that we want to become as wise and as compassionate as the Buddha, so that we can help all of them effectively and equally. And the way to do that is to rely on the three jewels to develop our wisdom and compassion, so that we can help everyone. Let's begin. Please put your palms together.
In Buddha Dhamma Sangha, till enlightened day refuge, merits it from six perfections, achieve Buddhahood to help all. In Buddha Dhamma Sangha, till enlightened day refuge, merits it from six perfections, achieve Buddhahood to help all. In Buddha Dhamma Sangha, till enlightened day refuge, merits it from six perfections, achieve Buddhahood to help all.
Next, we are going to make offerings to the three jewels. When making offerings, the attitude that we want to generate in our hearts is gratitude. The fact that we are able to be living in such a peaceful and prosperous country like Singapore is because we have been a virtuous person in our past. Why do we know how to be a virtuous person? Because the Buddha has taught us before. So when we make this offering, we are expressing our gratitude to the three jewels and also seek their blessings to continue to guide us. Similarly, tonight, Medicine Buddha and Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, they have helped us before in our past life to fulfill our needs of well-being. So with this offering, we also sincerely request Medicine Buddha and Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva to descend upon this puja to help us, guide us, and to give us their blessings. If you have already prepared an offering item, you can hold up the offering item now. Or you can also look at the beautiful pictures later in the PPT and visualize offering the best things in the universe to the Buddha. Okay, so now, visualize the Medicine Buddha, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas looking at us very compassionately. Now, in your heart, sincerely invite Medicine Buddha and Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva to come to this puja. Visualize them very happily accepting our offerings and radiate light to bless all of us. Let's begin.
Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Ahom, Om Ahom, Om Ahom. With a fairy fragrance and flowers, adorned with Maui, fallen sun and moon, reverently I offer this Buddha land. May all beings enjoy this pure land with me. Om Idam Guru Rana Mandala Kamniyataya Me. Om Ahom, Om Ahom, Om Ahom, Om Ahom, Om Ahom. With fairy fragrance and flowers, adorned with Maui, fallen sun and moon, reverently I offer this Buddha land. May all beings enjoy this pure land with me. Om Idam Guru Rana Mandala Kamniyataya Me. Om Ahom, Om Ahom, Om Ahom, Om Ahom, Om Ahom. Breathe filled with fragrance and flowers, adorned with Maui, fallen sun and moon, reverently I offer this Buddha land. May all beings enjoy this pure land with me. Om Idam Guru Rana Mandala Kamniyataya Me.
Next, we are going to recall the great wisdom and compassion of Medicine Buddha by reciting the Medicine Buddha Sutra, followed by chanting his mantra. In this sutra, the Medicine Buddha made 12 great vows to help sentient beings who are having problems with our daily lives, as well as helping us in our spiritual practices to quickly overcome our difficulties. And ultimately, he wants to help us to become just like him. Tonight, we will recite the first 6 vows, and in the following weeks, we will be reciting the other vows. As you recite the sutra and mantra, generate respect and faith in the Medicine Buddha. You can also seek his help if you are currently facing any sickness or problems in life. Then make a strong aspiration that you will want to continue to learn from the Medicine Buddha even after all these problems are over. Now, visualize the Medicine Buddha looking at us very compassionately. Okay, and then he radiates blue light. This blue light enters through the crown of your head, filling up your entire body with this pure blue light, enhancing your body and mind with good health, long life, and peace of mind, and clearing away all your sickness, all your obstacles, all your negative karma that flows out of your body through your legs as dirty water. Now you are bathed in this pure blue light, and you now feel very peaceful, very light, and very grateful to the Buddhas. Let's begin. The Buddha then said to Bodhisattva Manjusri, "East of this world, past countless Buddha lands, more numerous than the grains of sand in 10 Ganges rivers, there exists a world called pure lapis lazuli.
The Buddha of that world is called the medicine Buddha, Lapis Lazuli, Radiance Tathagata, Arahat, perfectly enlightened, perfect in mind and deed, well gone, knower of the world, unsurpassed being, tamer of passions, teacher of gods and men, Buddha, world-honored one. Manjusri, when the world-honored medicine Buddha was treading the Bodhisattva path, he solemnly made 12 great vows to grant sentient beings whatever they desired. First great vow, I vow that in a future life, when I have attained supreme, perfect enlightenment, brilliant rays will shine forth from my body, illuminating infinite, countless, boundless realms. This body will be adorned with the 32 marks of greatness and 80 auspicious characteristics. Furthermore, I will enable all sentient beings to become just like me. Second great vow. I vow that in a future life, when I have attained supreme enlightenment, my body, inside and out, will radiate far and wide the clarity and flawless purity of lapis lazuli. This body will be adorned with superlative virtues and dwell peacefully in the midst of a web of light, more magnificent than the sun or moon. The light will awaken the minds of all beings dwelling in darkness, enabling them to engage in their pursuit according to their wishes. Third great vow. I vow that in a future life, when I have attained supreme enlightenment, I will, with infinite wisdom and skillful means, provide all sentient beings with an inexhaustible quantity of goods to meet their material needs. They will never want for anything. Fourth great vow. I vow that in a future life, when I have attained supreme enlightenment, I will set all who follow heretical ways upon the path to enlightenment. Likewise, I will set those who follow the Sravaka and Pratika Buddha ways onto the Mahayana path. Fifth great vow. I vow that in a future life, when I have attained supreme enlightenment, I will help all the countless sentient beings who cultivate the path of morality in accordance with my Dharma to observe the precepts to perfection in conformity with the three root precepts. Even those guilty of disparaging or violating the precepts will regain their purity upon hearing my name and avoid descending upon the evil paths. Sixth great vow. I vow that in a future life, when I have attained supreme enlightenment, sentient beings with imperfect bodies, whose senses are deficient, who are ugly, stupid, blind, deaf, mute, crippled, hunchback, leprous, insane, or suffering from various other illnesses, will, upon hearing my name, acquire well-formed bodies, endowed with intelligence, with all senses intact. They will be free of illness and suffering. Manjusri, after the medicine Buddha attained supreme enlightenment, he realized by virtue of his past vows that sentient beings endured various ailments such as emaciation, crippling disabilities, fever, dysentery, jaundice, etc. Some were the targets of black magic or various poisons, while others suffered short lives or untimely death. At that time, seeking to put an end to these miseries and fulfill the desires of sentient beings, he entered a samadhi court, eliminating all the suffering and afflictions of sentient beings. Once he entered that samadhi, a brilliant light shone forth from his ulna as he uttered the great dharani. Tayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Raja Samugate Soha Homage to the Medicine Buddha. Tayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Raja Samugate Soha Homage to the Medicine Buddha. Tayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Raja Samugate Soha Homage to the Medicine Buddha. Tayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Raja Samugate Soha Homage to the Medicine Buddha. Tayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Raja Samugate Soha Homage to the Medicine Buddha. Tayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Raja Samugate Soha Homage to the Medicine Buddha. Tayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Raja Samugate Soha Homage to the Medicine Buddha. Tayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Raja Samugate Soha Homage to the Medicine Buddha. Tayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Raja Samugate Soha Homage to the Medicine Buddha. Tayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Raja Samugate Soha Homage to the Medicine Buddha. Tayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Raja Samugate Soha Homage to the Medicine Buddha. Tayata Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahabekanze Raja Samugate Soha Homage to the Mason Buddha. Tayana Om Pekanze, Pekanze Maha Pekanze, Raja Sanugate Soha. Homage to the Mason Buddha. Tayana Om Pekanze, Pekanze Maha Pekanze, Raja Sanugate Soha. Homage to the Mason Buddha. Homage to the Mason Buddha.
We will next chant the Heart Sutra. The full name of the sutra is the Heart of the Prajna Paramita Sutra, or Heart of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. It is called the Heart because it contains the most essence of the Buddha's teachings on the perfection of wisdom. This is the wisdom that will enable us to see the ultimate true nature of reality, that all phenomena exist only interdependently, that they are devoid of inherent existence. By realizing this wisdom, we will be able to end the cycle of birth and death, the main cause of our suffering, and also ultimately achieve Buddhahood. Not only that, the Heart Sutra also has a very powerful effect of clearing away obstacles and accumulating merits. If we chant sincerely, we can clear away many of our obstacles and accumulate vast merits. As you chant the sutra, focus your mind and recite every word correctly. If you find yourself distracted, once you are aware of being distracted, gently let go of the distracting thoughts and focus your mind again on the recitation. You do not have to try to understand the meaning of the text, but make an aspiration that one day you will also be able to gain the perfection of wisdom. Please put your palms together. Let's begin.
The Prajna Paramita Sutra, when Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara was practicing the profound Prajna Paramita, he illuminated the five skandhas and saw them to be empty, and he grows beyond all suffering and difficulty. Shariputra form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form itself is emptiness. Emptiness itself is form. So too appearing perception, formation, and consciousness. Shariputra, all others are empty of characteristics. There is no birth and no cessation. There is no impurity and no purity. There is no increase and no decrease. Therefore, in emptiness there is no living perception, formation, or consciousness, no eye, no sound, body, or mind, no sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, or balance, no other to attitude, no mind, consciousness, attitude, no ignorance, no end of ignorance, up to no agent, no end of agent, there is no suffering, no origin non-suffering, no cessation of suffering, no path, no wisdom, and no attainment, because nothing is certain. Bodhisattva truly lying on Prajna Paramita have no obscuration in the mind, since there is no obscuration of mind, there is no fear, they transcend falsity and earthly complete nirvana. All Buddhas of the three times by means of Prajna Paramita fully awaken to Ansapasapa, true complete enlightenment. Therefore the great mantra of Prajna Paramita, the mantra of great insight, the Ansapasa mantra, the unequal mantra, the mantra that comes of suffering should be known as true, since there is no deception. The Prajna Paramita mantra is said in this way: Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sangati Bodhi Swaha. Out of the Prajna Paramita Sutra, when Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara was practicing the profound Prajna Paramita, he illuminated the five skandhas and saw them to be empty, and he crossed beyond all suffering and difficulty. Shariputra form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form itself is empty. Emptiness itself is form. So to our feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness, Shariputra all dhammas are empty of characteristics. There is no and no cessation. There is no impurity and no purity. There is no increase and no decrease. Therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, feeling, perception, formation, no consciousness, no idea, no sound, body, or mind, no sight, no smell, taste, touch, or sound. No eye to no mind, consciousness, up to no ignorance, no and no ignorance, up to no age and death, no and no age and death. There is no suffering, no origin of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no path, no wisdom, and no attainment, because nothing is certain. Bodhisattvas truly lying on Prajna Paramita have no obscuration in the mind, since there is no obscuration of mind, there is no fear, they transcend falsity and earthly complete nirvana. All Buddhas of the three by means of Prajna Paramita fully awaken to Ansapasapa, true complete enlightenment. Therefore the great mantra of Prajna Paramita, the mantra of great insight, the Ansapasa mantra, the unequal mantra, the mantra that comes all suffering should be known as true, since there is no deception. The Prajna Paramita mantra is said in this way: Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sangati Bodhi Swaha. Of the Prajna Paramita Sutra, when Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara was practicing the profound Prajna Paramita, he illuminated the five skandhas and saw them to be empty, and he crossed beyond all suffering and difficulty. Shariputra form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form itself is emptiness. Emptiness itself is form. So too are feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness. Putra or downside, empty of characteristics. There is no verb and no cessation. There is no impurity and no purity. There is no increase and no decrease. Therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, feeling, perception, formation, or consciousness. No higher, no sound, body, or mind. No sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, or dance. No I that you are to. No mind, consciousness, no ignorance, no end of ignorance, up to no age, there no end of age, there is no suffering, no origin of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no power, no wisdom, and no earthly, because nothing is a thing, bodhisattva should rely on Rajna Paramita, have no obscuration in her mind. Since there is no obscuration of mind, there is no feeling, transcend falsity, and earthing complete nirvana. All Buddhas of the three hands, by means of Rajna Paramita, fully awakened to unsurpassable, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the great mantra of Prajnaparamita, the mantra of great insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequal mantra, the mantra that comes all suffering, should be known as true, since there is no deception. The Prajnaparamita mantra is stated this way: Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhi Swaha.
Next, we will chant the heart mantra of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. As we chant the mantra, you can also seek Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva's help if you are currently facing any sickness or problems in life. Then make a strong aspiration that you want to continue learning from Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva even after all these problems are gone. Okay, so now let's visualize Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, one same Puja, in front of us. She's looking at us very compassionately. And from the vase she's holding, radiating white nectar lights. This white nectar light enters through the crown of your head, filling up your entire body with this white nectar light, clearing away all your obstacles, all your sickness, all your afflictions, all your negative karma, which flows out of your body through your legs as dirty water. Let's begin.
Om
Okay, so let's now do dedication. May we sincerely dedicate our collection of vast merits from this Sangha annual Vasa retreat sutra recitation puja as follows. May our country be prosperous and peaceful. May the COVID-19 outbreak subside swiftly. May all sentient beings be well and happy, swiftly develop their wisdom and compassion, and advance in their spiritual practice. May all businesses restore and may the economy flourish. May all who have lost their lives, including plague deities, suffering ghosts and spirits, our personal karmic creditors and debtors, let go of their resentment, find peace in their hearts, and be reborn in Pure Land and attain enlightenment. Okay, now let's do special dedication. First, dedication for those who are facing obstacles to be eliminated and have good health, positive and energized body and mind. Indra, Nair, Huang Lai Bao, Fu
叶
Wen
成
Gui,
人、叶淑仪、
蓝
卢
金
娜
水、
妮、
李
叶
凤
瑞
英、
妍、
李
卢
佩
春玉、
君、
吴信顺、
潘
梁
怡
玉
坚、
媛、
李
林
思
家
荣、
和、 蔡
潘
爱
景
珠、
全、
林
蔡
娟
华、
长、 林
Darren
顺
Wong、
梅、
堆
袁
Hun、
淑瑞、
陈
陈雅文、
Yang、
何
王
文
万
富、
正、
谢
罗
婉
秀
玲、
美、
卓
丹
秀
春
婷、
Kim、
陈
钟
如
培
花、
田、
蔡凤英、
谢
林
霆
家
锋、
辉、谢红金、 林宏康、
徐
李
秦
清
旭
玄、李
强、
清简、
汪林
尤
贵、
风聘、尤之
许
应、
丽丽、
伊之
蓝
庆、
安
伊
宁、
之峰、
蓝弘毅、
徐
许
慧
瑞
斌、
怀、
彼得丢、
潘旭
李欣
辉、
怡、罗
李
秀
思
荣、
发、
陈趁发、
李素
陈
月、
义杰、
张
陈耀
义
义、
友、
倪
汪
苑
乐
玲、
健、
陈凯
Kenneth
杰、
Wong、
陈凯
Hiap
玉、
Dong、 刘秋
谢梨
妍、
花、
Serene
谢
Lam、
丽萍、
谢
吴
钟
素
辉、
芬、
刘秀妹、 Ko
吴
Ah
伟
Chui.
雄。
May they have good health, positive and energized body and mind, and may all their sickness and obstacles be cleared. Now, dedication to the deceased. 许金
吴
荣、
倩熙、张
李
玉
宝、
谷、
金
洪兴
玲、
全、吴
蓝
庆霞、吴
妙
庆
元、
庆、
李
吴
敬
世清、
全、
吴慧媛、
吕
卢
素
彩
云、
英、
许
黄
国
坤
浩、
明、
潘
吴
广
达
荣、
训、 吴达
谢
训、
俊文、
吴世
陈
典、
秀、
张玉妹、李
孙
三
李
星、
庄、李
吴玉珍、
听
雷
颂、
志雄、
杨
戴
明
文
丽、
志、
林
徐
德
苏联、
春、钟
王
尚
玉
义、
律、王成
陈爱
福、
珍、
陈
秦
玉
家
九、
汉、
蔡
赖
玉
少
玲、
强、
姚敬
杨
海、
婉、
陈敬
张
孙、
茂
黄
华、
润华、
杨友妹、
黄文彪、 李
蓝
静
世
发、
文、
蔡
李
王、蔡
清
阿
熙、
秋、
吕
黄晨
福
袍、
南、林玉莲、
郑
罗
三发、
秀
周
威、
美祥、
佘长
陈志
元、
才、
林
陈
丽
雅
静、
九、
林
竹
德
里、
根、 刘
黄玉莲、
阳妮、
蓝秋兰、
林
周
德
宣石、
生、
蔡
陈雅
蔡
粉、
卫和、
吕
彭永成、林
吕辉
建
宏、
春、周
秦
景
卫
业、
明、
罗秀
赖
兰、
玉水、严福。May they be reborn in the happy realm, meet excellent teachers and able to learn the perfect teachings, or be reborn in the pure land and to attain Buddhahood. Okay, so let us recite the dedication verse together. May these profound merits and virtues be dedicated to all sentient beings. May we eliminate all karmic obstacles and may all attain enlightenment. Okay, so this is the end of the puja, but please do not go away. As usual, we will be back at 9 p.m. for Ven Talk. And tonight, Venerable John will talk on the topic, Do You Hear Me? And share useful advice on how to improve our communications and relationship with others. See you later.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Van Talk. So for today, we are very fortunate to have Venerable John with us. So good evening, Venerable John.
Hello, good evening, Jing Kai. Okay, so I think today's topic is very interesting. So what is today's topic about? Many of us, we thought that we know how to listen and communicate effectively, but then as we are doing all of this in all our life, but then there's a lot of times that we have conflicts and misunderstanding with our friends and family, even with people that we don't know. And once again, hello, Jing Kai. And you want to share with us your experiences in Bidami Monastery?
Okay, thanks, Marshall. So personally, I've been learning the Lamrim for about 7 years, almost 7 years. So although 7 years is like a really long time, right? But I think that the amount of content that I can actually like sort of remember, maybe it's not even 7 months worth of lessons. So there's like a few reasons lah. Partly like because sometimes during class, like near the end, like very tired cause like a Saturday morning, so I I will like lose my energy very easily. So sometimes I'll just sit there, scrolling the phone, but I will still go for class at least, right? So although I don't really remember a lot of stuff, but this listening topic is one of the topics that I remember very clearly and has a very deep impact on me. So partly I guess because it's like the first few topics, so at the start, when we just started the lesson, it's still like quite enthusiastic about it lah, at the start. So it's something that I can absorb more readily at that time. And then another reason is because I found that it's a lot more applicable and relatable to my real life. It's something that I can easily use and apply outside of the lumbering itself.
Yes, Jing Kai. So, it requires listening throughout our whole life, and there are three types of vessels about listening. So, what are these three types of vessels? So, for the first type, dirty cup. So, Jing Kai, what is dirty cup?
So basically dirty cup is just like a cup that you want to use to contain pure water. So if the cup is dirty, the water will naturally become dirty lah. So the things that we listen, it's polluted by our own thoughts, so it becomes impure.
Yes, because we judge others, right? So we have this
Yes.
kind of like judgment and these dirty thoughts. Look at the picture. I make sure whatever you said will be distorted. All right, move on to the next one. Leaking cup, leak bottom cup. So, do you have any examples of leak bottom cup?
Okay, so for this leaking bottom cup, actually is like one of the main reasons, like for my example, as what I said just now, that I cannot retain a lot of the things that I learned during my class lah, right? Because as you can see in the picture, the water keeps leaking out because sometimes maybe we listen not very attentively, so we only listen to a bit of what is taught, and then the rest just like go into one ear and then out of the other ear.
Yes, so this is a classic example of like right ear in, left ear out. In school, primary school, secondary school, whenever we have this lesson, once after school ends, everything return back to our teacher. All right, for the last one, overturned cup. What is overturned cup?
Overturned cup, as you can see, if the cup is overturned, like no water can go in at all, right? If you pour the water, it just flows out from the side. Nothing is being collected. So I guess for this, like a very common example I'm sure many people have faced is when let's say you're talking to your parents, or like when I'm talking with my mother, right? Sometimes like my mother loves to nag, then I will just like zone her out and just wait for it to be over, right? Then after that she'll be like, so what did I say just now? Then I will just stun because I don't remember anything, and I wasn't listening lah. So although it's not really to the teachings, but this one of my most common examples I have when it comes to this overturned cup.
Yes, so I'm sure your mother loves you, that's why she nags at you. Yeah, overturned cup is like, I'm not interested in whatever you say, no. Okay, so normally we belongs to maybe one of them, or sometimes we are all three of them. And do you think that you are one of them, or you have perfected your listening skills?
So I'm sure as like a normal human with imperfections, we all have some form of the three lah. But personally, I feel that ever since coming and learning about it, I have been trying to watch myself, and like try to avoid these problems, because I guess I would say that I try my best to be a very good, I cannot say very good lah, to be a decent listener when it comes to my friends. Right, every time like I know I got friends that need to rant, I'll readily be there to try and listen lah. So even when it comes to this day-to-day relationship, this listening is very important, right? Because whatever they say, sometimes even they're just ranting or they need advice, you need to like internalize and understand where they're coming from or what they need at that point in time, right? So if we are sort of like afflicted by any of these three conditions, then we won't be able to really give them whatever they need most lah, right? Let's say if I have a dirty cup, so whatever they say to me, then I mix it with my own thoughts, then I just give them you know not the best advice lah. I'll say like I'll mix it with my own experience that actually your experience not that jialat what, why you so sad for? Then they'll feel even worse. It's really not helping lah. And then for the other two, if you can't even, you're not even listening to what they're saying, then how are you even supposed to respond to them? So this kind of things is, I guess it's very easily causes miscommunication when we're dealing with other people in our day-to-day relationships.
Yes, so if a person come and ask for your advice and you are overturned cup, they will feel very frustrated about it. And if you are licking bottom cup, then after 30 minutes of like complaining and they are waiting for your advice, then you look at them and like, what did you just say for the last 15 minutes? I think it's quite a turn off. And dirty cup, when they want to complete their sentences and you just cut them off, or no, we want to finish up their sentences because we know what they are trying to talk about. But then in the end, it's like totally different things, right? And a good communicator is actually a good listener. And all of us want others to listen to us, right? It's just like karma. So do you have any interesting story to share?
Okay, when it comes to this listening and communication, so I have one example lah that just happened like really recently. So like one of my not one of my secondary school, one of my secondary school colleagues. So we've been friends for about 10 plus years. It's a very tight group lah. So like last year, suddenly there was a little dispute between like two of our friends in the group, right? Because like over the many years, all of the things that they do, actually it made the other party very unhappy, and they sort of like they got show signs and they got like say they got sound out their displeasure, but it wasn't heard by the other friend lah. So it's sort of like at the start, they just okay lah, just they don't want to really disrupt the overall vibe of the whole group, so they never say anything, and then so it just piled up, and then I guess sometime last year they both decided that they cannot take it anymore, and then they both just exploded at each other lah. So one of the guys actually like even quit our like WhatsApp group and all that. He was like, oh, I need some time to myself and whatnot. So I guess when that happened, I was quite taken aback lah, because it was very sudden. Nobody saw that coming. So after that, I sort of like went to talk to each of them individually to understand their point of view, what made each of them unhappy, right? And then I had to sort of force them to meet up, and to talk things out, right? Because listening and communication is very important, right? Because they both felt that they have expressed their displeasure to the other parties several times over the past few years. But then the other party claimed that they never received any of the signals. So in this case, it's this listening afflictions, these problems that cause them to be unable to have this proper communication, resulting in a breakdown. So after making them talk things out, sort of like forcing them to listen to each other and really understand what the problem was, it got better lah. I mean, I guess we're still like sort of recovering because it was quite a big fight lah, sad to say, but it's just not but it improved from there lah. So after that, I think the whole group sort of like we had a more outspoken consensus about sounding out our displeasures, making sure people understand, when we cross each other's boundary. Because, learning to solve all these barriers is also a very key importance, when it comes to proper communication as well as listening.
All right. Yes. So open communication is very important, and we try to be as transparent as possible. And Mark Jing Kai, thank you Jing Kai for being the middleman. Bring all your friends back together. All right. So I think I also have a short story. So imagine, okay, one day David went to the food court. So after like a day work, is very tired and drained from work, and David decided to go out for dinner, and he go to a food court. So he wanted to enjoy his dinner, and he ordered like a lot of food lah, right? And then apparently he was distracted by a boy sitting beside him. So the boy was crying non-stop, and he looked beside him, and the father is over there lah. So he didn't really say anything. And he just said that, in his mind, I'm just gonna wait for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, if you don't do anything, I will help you educate your child lah. I mean, in his brain lah. Normally the affliction will get stronger and stronger. So at first it will be like a dirty cup, then after that it will become like overturned cup. So after 10 minutes, no, the father didn't do anything. So he was furious lah. He just walked towards the father and he shouted, like, can you please control your boy? So the father looked shocked and he wanted to explain himself, but then no, David being an overturned cup now, he just rambling on how his mood was affected by the kid. Keep on crying and he couldn't even enjoy his dinner. So after that, also after all the rambling and stuff, right? Then finally the father has the chance to speak up lah. So the father apologized to him and said that no, they just left the hospital and his wife just passed away. Then the son has lost his mother and he couldn't control his emotion. So only this 1 minute, David perception completely changed. So from someone that is very angry at the kid and the father, he becomes some person that is very compassionate. So he talked to the father. Oh, how can I help you? Can you tell me your story? So do you need any help? So I think for this story, there's something that is very important. We have to have a complete understanding of the whole thing before we judge someone or we want to say something bad to other person. This is very, very important. As you can see, after he knows the true story or the whole story, his mentality totally changed from someone that is very angry into like a compassionate being. So this is why it's so important to really listen to other people first before judging them. So what do you think about this story?
I think like the protagonist of the stories is a very common occurrence in our our society nowadays lah. Like a lot of people they feel that they have a little bit of inconvenience, right? Then they will just reflect their inner thoughts and emotions and certain expectations onto other people, right? They see like they just, for example, they see the boy crying, then they just assume that the boy is really just out to ruin my dinner. They never really stop to even consider the fact that the boy may have an even worse day than he's had. Sure, maybe he has had a tough day at work, but so what? Compared to what the boy has been through, his is considered not as serious lah. Not that his emotions are invalid, but then he shouldn't immediately judge other people just based on whatever he's feeling and whatever he wants to feel, right? So I guess this is like a dirty cup in a way, right?
Yes.
He's polluted the entire situation with his own negative thoughts, his own negative emotions, right? So
So actually, this dirty cup will actually built on. After become a dirty cup, you become an overturned cup. You decided to
just
shut
don't care
everyone
about what
down.
happened. Yeah.
Alright. So after talking about the different cups, we have to talk about the remedies, right? If not, there's no solution towards this. Alright. So what are the remedies? So for the first one, dirty cup, we have to reflect the complete composure. So we have to think like, why did the person say this thing to us? And through internalize it, then we talk our own feeling. Then by hearing what the person say and we just react based on our own experiences. So what do you think about these dirty cup remedies?
I think this is probably like the hardest for us to sort of change immediately, because I'm sure to a lot of people it's like a habit already, right? Because we've been doing this for so long, right? But since learning about this, I have like tried to be a lot more understanding, when even like talking to my parents and whatnot. Cause like since young, I realized that my mother very easily like I'm not trying to badmouth my mother lah, right? But in like certain situations, my mother will like really see like on the surface, and whatever she thinks happen, and then she will just react accordingly lah. So I have a younger brother. Then as the older sibling, in most cases I have the what do you call it? My mother sort of trusts me more, right? So even if it's my fault and not my brother's fault, sometimes I will just tell her that, oh, it's my brother's fault, it's not my fault. Then she will just sort of like believe and go. So I guess this sort of made me realize that sometimes this trust thing can also be a very strong component when it comes to having a dirty cup, right? Whoever we trust more, we will sort of gravitate towards them, right? We'll sort of like side them also lah, and then we won't really bother to try and understand the full story. Like when our friends like went to us, oh, that third friend do what and what, then we'll like sort of like talk bad about the friend together. We don't even care, even if our friend is like sort of in the wrong, but then mentally we are like, oh, but this my friend, of course I should side her lah. Whatever she say or he say should be the correct one, and then that friend no good. So I guess this is a very hard. I think like it's so far the hardest that for us to sort of try and change, because it's a very built-in mentality and reflex. So how can we like practice this and help us achieve this remedy?
I think this is a sort of a ego part lah, because you believe yourself more than anybody else, so that you think that the way we see things is the fact. But then normally when we react to something, we are more emotion than intelligent lah. So we react things by looking at something or hearing something or even feeling something. So the more important thing is to think about the benefit and the disadvantages of being like this lah. Right. So for example, if you are a primary school student and you see like 1 plus 1 equal to, the teacher will say 2, but then you say 1 plus 1 is equal to 11, right? Then when the teacher is saying like, no, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, then you say that, no, you can say 1 plus 1 is 11, right? There are all of these examples that you think that, no, you are smarter than anybody. So this is also very hard for you to learn more things in life, right? So I think you need to think about like a dirty cup as something you won't want to be lah. At least put yourself down if you really want to learn from someone. I think this is a good thing to contemplate on. Alright, so for the second one, league bottom cup. So for the league bottom cup, you have to be attentive and focused. Right, do you have anything for this?
I think this one is I think this and the overturn one is two remedies that I found to be sort of easier to pick up, and I think I work on these two first, before I try to remedy the dirty cup side, because that one, as I said, personally I find it to be like the hardest to resolve, right? But for the leaking bottom cup, right? We just have to be attentive and focused. So in a sense, we just need to like plug up our hose lah, prevent the water from leaking out. So like for me, like let's say when I have a friend who's like venting, I will like try and drop everything on hand, whatever I'm doing, if possible, and just listen to him talk, really understand what he's going through, so that I can best provide whatever it is that he needs lah, be it whether he just needs some comfort or he needs some advice, right? Being able to really understand him fully, I guess that's like the most important thing that I have sort of like learned from this lah, right?
Alright, so for leaking bottom cup, I think we have to keep on thinking about that thing and keep it in our mind. So leaking bottom cup, I have something very interesting. So it's like regarding names. So when we ordain, we change a new name, right? right? Then I changed my name into like Venerable Hui Ten. Then apparently when people call me, right, I used to like people call me Jonathan, Jonathan, Jonathan. Then when people call me Venerable Hui Ten, then sometimes I won't really like respond to them lah. So it's like a leaking cup. Like I don't even remember my new name, right? Then this is like so what I need to do is to keep on repeating. Okay, so my name is Venerable Hui Ten. Okay, so whenever people call that name, they have to be very responsive. So this is how we imprint it in our brain. But then after repeating it a few times, then you will get used to it. And so this is how you retain the information. It's just like how we memorize our textbook and stuff. Keep on repeating, and some of them after they read like 10 times or 20 times, they are able to retain the information. So for leaking bottom cup, then we have to try to like repeat it in our mind and catch the important points that your friend told you. Then you try to give him advice based on the information that is retained in your mind. All right. So for the last one, overturn cup. Listen to understand. Do you listen to understand or you listen to reply?
Yeah, I was gonna say that also, right? So it's like a, those a lot of Instagram accounts, they like to have those like wise quote of the day, whatnot, right? Then like one of them is like, people nowadays they listen to reply and not to understand, right? But actually that one is quite true lah, right? Every time people are talking, sometimes we hear a part where we got something to say, and then we just totally shut off completely. We're just waiting for them to finish so that we can give them a response to that one thing that they said at the start of maybe their 5 minutes long speech. Right? So the back of the remaining 4 minutes of whatever they've said, right? It's already like, we totally never listen because we're just waiting to reply to that one line that they mentioned. So, a lot of missed information.
Yes. So there's another saying that is like, do you listen to respond or listen to react? So normally we listen to react. What is listening to react is like there's one example. For example, your friend asks you out for lunch and you're going to pass him a book and you forgot to bring it and he's angry, then he scold like negative things to you. And then how do you react back? You react by scolding him back. So this causes a lot of conflicts, you guys fight. But then in the end, all of us are harmed in this situation. We hurt each other by words. So how can we listen to respond? For example, you think of an overall picture. So it's still the complete understanding part. When it's your fault because you really forgot to bring the book to pass to him and you apologize to him. But then when you apologize to him, you can ask him like maybe he can speak like more polite next time. Even though of course we have a lot of excuses or can debate with that person now. I can say that you're the one that asked me out for lunch. Also not I asked you, right? So you can scold him, or you can even say that that book is my book. So whether I want to give it to you is my choice. But then overall, our relationship is much more important than winning this debate, right? Because ultimately we are not like fighting for Nobel Prize. Okay, so at the end of the day, we need to know whether the fight is worth it or not. Yes, so.
But then for let's say for that case, I know of like some people who are like let's say conflict avoidant, right? So sometimes when it's really the other party's fault, but because like you say they just want to have maintain the relationship properly, so they know that they just everything they sort of like they pile onto themselves, they just take the blame even when it's not their fault. So in this case, then it's not healthy also,
If avoid conflicts, will the person become a overturned cup? So the person try to like block off everything and okay, it's my fault. Don't talk to me. I just shut down, hide into my room. So is it considered like a overturned cup instead of like trying to solve this situation? Because as you said just now, the group of friends, the things will pile up in them. Then when it piles up, then they exploded like volcano eruption. Then at the end of the day, we need some middleman to help them, bring them together to open up again. And I think after open up, we have this mistrust within each other. So it's even harder to become like a good friends again. So I think it's still better for us to try and resolve this situation. At least look at it in an open mind.
Yeah. So I guess in a sense for for all three or for all three of these cups, a common remedy is we need to try and develop new habits, right? Because a lot of what we do, when it comes to this situation, whether we decide to face it with the dirty cup, the leaking cup, or the overturned cup, it's actually a result of our many years or even many lifetimes of habit, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
how can we motivate ourselves to try and develop this new habit?
Because we have to think of the benefit. Listening, like communication is very important in this world. No, you started to communicate after like once after you are like 2 to 3 years old, and all the way until you you go on to your next life lah. So if we can master the art of communication, then there's a lot of things in life that will be very smooth for us. You have like a better family relationship with your family, with your friends, or even make new friends that is faster. And if you have like business, then your business will grow very quickly because of the way you communicate with others. No, people will feel safe being with you. So all of these benefits, you can actually get it from listening, just listening alone. So you don't really have to be like someone that is very profound and know how to say a lot of things, but then you need a heart to listen to them. So when they trust you, they can really help you a lot in your lives. Yes. So listening is a effective communication brings more happiness in our life. And if we focus on others, we give as much as we can, it will be more fruitful than wanting others to listen to us because happiness comes from within, right? So the real happiness is not whether that person listen to you or not, but then it's your ability to give them. I think that is the more important part. And we can't change the world, and we can only change ourselves. So we can't change all our friends, ask them to listen to us, because that is impossible. So the only thing we can do is changing ourselves and change our perspective. And by changing our perspective, how you look at the world will change. So, Xingkai, how do you feel about this?
Like I've said, I think this topic has been really really beneficial to me. So after learning, right, I've tried to correct a lot of my views, right? Because in my many years last time, right, I've lost some friends and whatnot, due to miscommunication. So being able to save that group of friends last year, I'm very thankful, right, to the Lamrim for teaching me this, so that I'm like sort of equipped with all this knowledge in a way to help me better handle this situation. Even being a middleman, actually even being a middleman, it requires a lot more lah on both sides, right? Because you need to listen to more, you need to understand both, and then you need to relay out to the other party, because obviously they are refusing to talk to each other at the start. So I need to listen, and then I need to understand, and then I need to say again. So actually listening not only, I think not only helps you understand when it comes to the communication, also when you need to further pass on the information to other people, you can ensure that the information you pass down is as complete as possible lah. Because like sort of in like the workplace also, when the boss tells the manager something, and then the manager tells maybe the supervisor, or however the hierarchy works lah. As it goes down one level, maybe some of the information is lost. Then at the end, when the worker at the bottom receives the information, maybe he only understood 20% of what the boss actually wants. Then when he delivers that 20%, and then the boss gets very angry, like, ask for this 100%, how dare you only give me 20%? But what the worker heard is, you only want this 20%, right? So I guess this is, it's just very important, just throughout our lives, whether it's for just learning the Lamrim or just our day-to-day life. I think this is a really really important and beneficial topic, and like sort of very happy to be able to benefit from these teachings.
Yes, yes. I think you learn a lot from this teaching, and all your friends love you because you can really help them transfer all the message, and not being a dirty cup, because in order to transfer all the message, it must be clean, right? If not, you start to badmouth each other. And I think last but not least, there's something that we can share with all of us is like through listening we are actually learning things, but then when we are speaking we are actually repeating what we already know. So when we practice active listening, we're actually learning more than we already know. So we are taking more information and know next time we are able to help others. So yeah, now it's about 9:30. So thank you, Jing Kai, for joining us.
Alright, thank you, Pastor. On behalf of everybody watching and listening, I'd like to thank Venerable John for this very insightful session. Hopefully everybody learn a little bit more about listening, communicating, and then can go on to become better friends, better people, better students. Okay, thank you, Venerable.
Thank you. Good night.